Hey, what's going on everyone? Hawks21 here, back with another Splinterlands video. So we're going to do another 3-battle video where I highlight 3 of my recent battles that I thought were interesting, fun, weird. We got some cool ones today. So the first one I'm going to show you is what I'm going to call SUPER BAAKJIRA. I created a pretty absurd BAAKJIRA using weapons training. I utilized this strategy well, given the rule sets at the time. It's a really fun battle. Second one, we have a really great use for low mana scattershot. I'll show you that video and that battle and I'll explain, but really good low mana scattershot play. And then finally, we have my luckiest win ever. We're actually going to do the math together to see how lucky I actually was, but I promise you, maybe one of the luckier wins you've ever seen. So we'll get into that, we'll get into all 3, and then at the very end, we are actually going to open up 3 Gladius cases. So, bit of a good packed video for the battles. Let's get into it. We're going to start with SUPER BAAKJIRA. You might notice some new cards. That's because for the first time in a while, I've started renting a handful of cards. I'm going to start testing out cards rental-wise. Maybe I want to buy them, maybe I want to review them. I just want to start, mixing in some new stuff. And this is one of the main ones I've been using a lot recently. I forget her name actually, but it's the dragon, 4 mana, that does +1 melee, as you can see. And so in this rule set, this is the SUPER BAAKJIRA battle. We have no archery. People get upset that I call it archery, but I'm going to continue calling it archery because I think it sounds better than ranged. Archery. So what do we expect? We expect melee, we expect magic. The enrage. Okay? So what do you want with enrage? You want monsters that have a lot of health that do melee damage. Or not. You might want to play the speed too, right? Generally, health is good because you want room for your monsters to get enraged. If you have a 2 health monster, it's really difficult for it to get enraged, right? It would need to take 1 damage. But a 16 health BAAKJIRA, there's a lot of room for this card to get enraged. So, BAAKJIRA, pretty defensive, right? Enraged, you can do some pretty great offensive attacks. It's tough to pick, right? You're expecting magic here, so you want to put out some magic defense, but normally magic defense comes at the expense of attack. Well, not so fast. We have the Kulu Mastermind. That's going to give BAAKJIRA an attack. Not only is it going to give it a melee attack, that melee attack is going to be boosted by Daria, I want to say. Daria, I could be wrong, and the River Hellendale. Then boosted by the Enrage, and you'll see we have a BAAKJIRA that hits for 6 damage. So think about the defense of this card. This card is one of the best cards in the game as is. Now toss 6 damage on it, and you can just see how much of a wrecking ball it really is. It's impossible to get through, and it's putting out a huge output. So everything gets all set up here. Here we go. 6 damage right off the bat. And I don't mind that retaliate, right? Because now I'm getting enraged. Again, I'm getting enraged. And then with 1 fell swoop, BAAKJIRA. See, they can't get through the BAAKJIRA up front. Just the defense and the offense of this BAAKJIRA I have right now is absurd. They can't get through it because it's so defensive. And then it's just laying out 6 damage. I loved this. Like a poison there would have got rid of it. So I get a little lucky there, but at this point it's too late. Right? I am just doing way too much damage. We get the 6 heal. So think about it. It's getting healed for 6 heal. 6 heal. Heals for 12 a turn while doing 6 damage. Weapons training plus BAAKJIRA in these enraged rule sets, I think is going to become a strategy. This is the first time I've done it. you know, I found myself sitting there wanting magic defense, but wanting to put out a big attacker. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I try to create both? And so that's what I did. Battle 1, Super Baakjira. Battle 2. This is the low mana scattershot play. And so this line of thinking isn't that complicated, right? So we don't have a lot of splinters to choose from. Life, death. Really low mana, no sneak, no opportunity. Plus, on top of that, thorns. So immediately, where does your brain go when you see this? So everyone's going to have to fire to the front. Low mana with life available. You're going to get the Pelacor Conjurer, right? The play here is Pelacor Conjurer. Keep the Pelacor Conjurer alive. So you can see my opponent, somewhat similar, didn't sell out to the keep the Pelacor alive thing as much as I did. So I have 2 heals with the cleanse plus a repair. You know, and here we see heal plus cleanse. But you don't want to play this game, right? You don't want to play the attack the Conjurer game that I'm trying to make my opponent also play. So when I'm sitting there trying to figure out what I want to do, it comes to me, I don't want to fall into the same trap that I'm hoping my opponent falls into. There's not a lot of ways to avoid that trap, to be honest. But there is one, and that is this Gym Meteor. I feel like this card's very, very slept on. It's the neutral, so you can do this across a couple different, every different splinter. But you'll see the havoc the Gym Meteor causes. And now, I know my opponent, unless they bring scattershot, has to fire here. So the downside of this Gym Meteor is that if it hits randomly all the way across and like doesn't hit a couple places in a row, it can take a long time to get through. But we should have a long time. I'm designing my team to have a long time. The Gym Meteor is going to get off a ton of shots. And eventually, I just whittle everyone away back here. You're tempted to bring Dr. Blight in this situation. I tend to not. I tend to bring the Crystal Smith instead in similar contexts for the heal. Just because the Dr. Blight, you'll see how few times that the Dr. Blight's able to hit the Conjurer. And then even if you're thinking about the poison and the affliction, this Truth Speaker is a staple of low mana life. So if you're expecting this strategy, you have to expect the Truth Speaker at these really high levels. So the Dr. Blight doesn't really do much for you. It's going to take reflection damage if it does hit, and all of its effects are most likely going to be cleansed away anyways. So that's probably the one thing I would change. I mean, this is a good play here, right? Because you want to get a ton of damage up front. It has the flying. But again, I just went very defensive. And the Gym Meteor is the only one really that's going to do anything meaningful. I brought the Crystal Smith for the heal. Because the Crystal Smith is going to fall into the trap of, you know, just attacking the Conjurer. So we did immediately get lucky there with the Gym Meteor targeting the Crystal Smith twice in a row. So the Conjurer doesn't have a heal anymore. Theirs doesn't. So that does help us. But as you can see, like the Blight's not hitting. The Pelacor Arbalist right here can't really do anything through my heals and stuff. And the Gym Meteor is just taking out their whole team. The Crystal Smith does eventually get through the front here. But they fell into the trap, right? They fell into the obvious play. So what does this battle tell you? I know I've said this a lot on my channel before, but if you see a rule set and you immediately know exactly what you want to play, your opponent is probably thinking the same thing. And now sometimes that is the best play, right? I did the Pelacor Conjurer defense strategy, but it's worth it to take an extra second to consider what are the weak points of the strategy, assuming my opponent does the same thing. Is there A, can I hit the weak point of the strategy, which in this case was using the Gym Meteor to avoid the Conjurer, Or B, can I make a slight adjustment to stop my opponent from being able to do that? I don't know what you would do in this case, but that's generally how I think about things. If I know immediately what I want to play, I do a second level of thinking, assuming my opponent is also going to be thinking something similar. So you saw that there in that battle. Okay, finally, we have my luckiest win of all time. This was in a silver level brawl, so we have some silver content for you guys. You know, I'm trying to include more brawl battles so I can show you different levels, but this is a silver battle. You can see I'm using the Gladiator Legendary with the Blast. And there's really not much to say here. What I was just trying to do was create a long time to get to the arena, and hoping that it would get really boosted up, be doing a ton of blast damage by the end of it. And it kind of works, but I require a lot of luck to get this done. So again, you see no sneak, no opportunity. This is why I was able to do this setup. But as you can see kind of right away, what's not working about my strategy? They're getting through my stuff pretty quickly. They brought enough damage. I didn't get any misses there, but you'll see some misses later. Well, like you know, at this point, you're thinking, oh man, this didn't work, right? Got through the Baakjira super quickly. Didn't get any dodges, you know, when he had the opportunity to. He's going to be in a tough situation. Well, hold on, right? Look at this. At this point, you would think there's no way I win this battle. None. Let me try to stop it beforehand. I'm probably going to post this on Twitter, actually. I feel like this is a pretty funny. Hold on, I need to get it before the, watch me do my other work live here. Okay, so here we go. This will be a good screenshot. Who do you think wins this battle? Okay, that's the question. Who do you think wins this battle? Now, obviously, you guys know, because I probably wouldn't be showing it. Although I should probably show some more losses. Okay. Watch what happens. So, we get the first bloodlust. So now, they're firing. We get it. Our speed now is boosted. So we're going earlier in the situation. So we're going to get another bloodlust. So they hit there. Now, these two guys still have to go, right? If they both hit, it's over. Now, 1% or 10% chance of missing, 10% chance of missing. So 90% chance of each of these hitting, which means 0.9 times 0.9, which is 81% chance this battle's over. 81. Well, we get the miss. So now obviously it's not over. You think that's the end of it? So we get the double bloodlust. Had to dodge that one too. So that was a 70% chance of hitting. So we had a 19% chance to survive the original one. So 0.19 times a 30% chance to survive that shot. That's 5%. So when we got to that situation where it was the Soul Strangler and the Cursed Windiku, we had a 95% chance of losing. Now, I'm sure that's not my biggest thing, but that was from a specific moment in time. I don't remember a situation where I was just so sure mathematically I was going to lose. but then it just worked out. And then, as you can see, we're going to fire first. Boom, boom. Bloodlust, Bloodlust. Ends up looking pretty good here at the end, right? 8 damage, 8 speed. But that was very, very, very lucky. Probably again, at that point, once we got there, I probably got a little unlucky in the beginning with not getting any dodges. But once we got to that point, it became one of my luckiest wins of all time. Okay, thanks for being here, guys. We're going to open these up to end. I hope you enjoyed these videos. Hope you enjoyed the battles. Hope you learned something. I like making these. I like thinking through the strategies. It helps me also as I'm setting up these battles. Makes me try something new. I'm trying to make interesting content, which, unlocks interesting strategies. Ooh, we got an epic. 2 epics. Nice. This is going to sound really, really sort of like, not pretentious, but spoiled. I don't really want any more Quoras. I obviously want to max out Quora, but I need to start leveling up some of these others. Trap. Okay, cool. I didn't get any Quoras. Let's check out those epics real quick. I'm not going to look at everything because this video is about those battles more than anything. Let's do Gladiator epics. Not quite. This card ends up being very, very good. Right, look at this. It's going to be 7 attack, 5 speed with trample from the reach position. This card's going to be awesome. I mean, it already is awesome. I have it here. It's going to be really cool once I get the Inspire, because then I can do some stuff. There's a lot of good melee in left. All right, that'll be it. Hope you enjoyed the battle. Thanks for being here. If you enjoy this type of content, if you learn new things from my content, it would be awesome if you could take a second to like and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. Thanks for being here. Have a great day, and I will see you around the game.